it is the gradient that you have in the background.
That's a fantastic idea.
If you send me that photo, I'll see what I can do.
Yes, sir. But I also, let me pull up the Chances Orb site for Marina / anyone else. Yes. All right. All right. We're handling the most important business up front, everybody, which is how you create an orb. To some people, it symbolizes networks, which are the future of MetricsDAO and also Web3. To other people, it symbolizes a cool colored orb. You decide.
Possibilities are endless.
I have put this in chat for those who so wish to join the orb revolution. Also, Discord suggests adding a phone as a backup to my 2FA, so I will be doing that so it doesn't yell at me with this stupid banner. With that happy note, I'm going to go on mute, and Marina, if you want to kick us off, that would be great.
Let's do this. Yeah, my Discord is also asking the same of me, and I will not be doing that until the meeting's done because I just have too many screens. But yeah, let's get it started. We're 3 minutes past. I think we have a good-sized group here. Let's get into the weekly DAO updates. I've tried out a new name for this meeting, for this group, which is the weekly DAO and community meeting. Feedback, welcome. I wanted this to be kind of unilateral, overrunning the previous legacy and history. So this is just something, playing with this. Let me know, let us know, and let's get started. So as usual, we're going for 30 minutes. Further discussion can be taken offline. The call is recorded by our awesome Patrick. Please stay muted. If you're not speaking, please speak if you wish to. And we'll start with a reminder of our Season 4 goals. We are skipping the core KPIs today due to unforeseen circumstances. Our team is going to update them later. They'll be available in the slides later on in the week, probably, if you're curious. And then we're going to do pod updates. And then we're going to get orbed eventually. Zook, that's a cool one. And yeah, let's get into it with Season 4 goals. As a recap and as a reminder, we are concentrating on our value centers this season, from analysts, where we're going for more and better analysts. Better analysts at higher output quality, and we're also building up the public presence. And we're going to be focusing on helping our analysts, shine up there. Protocol and app is the next value center. Then we've got our data provider partners, MetricsDAO brand, where being a part of our community is a badge of honor for analysts. And finally, our contributors, transparency, fair compensation, and sense of ownership. And this brings us, because we are skipping KPI live update this week, this brings us straight to analytics with Zook.
And here I am with your analytics updates. The app is really gaining traction. As you can see in the top part of the slide, 32 new analysts joined or were submitted through the app, and we received 134 submissions in the last 7 days. So that's a big jump all at once. Also 8 new reviewers and 7,000 USD in payments claimed last week. So very good numbers. Let's hope we keep this up. As for Notion, this is the graph on the bottom left. 60 analysts were active on Notion. So we're still issuing bounties on Notion, and we seem to be in a steady state around 60 analysts per week. Still completing challenges on Notion. Some interesting news. Pine Network launched a challenge in app. They actually launched 2. And Solar Core, our Solana network, wrote a challenge, a question statement, which we used to issue a bounty on Notion. I see a question in the chat. we have cumulative totals for analysts, reviewers, and metric holders. So for app data, on the top part of the slide, this is cumulative. So 144 analysts through the app, that's cumulative, and reviewers is 70. As for Xmetric, that would be in our KPI slide, I believe, which was not updated this week. I'm sorry about that.
No worries. Thanks, Zook. It would be great as soon as you get a chance. I'll follow up offline on that. There's some other stuff I'm looking for, but that's fine for now. Appreciate the update on the app. We will eventually want to break out app versus Notion and see how much of it is crossover. I'm assuming almost all of it is, but let's not assume. Let's find out.
Yeah, sure. We can talk about that. If there's time, I'd like to give people just an overview of our marketplaces in the app. So we have 5 marketplaces. We have Flash Challenges, which is evaluated by the Watchman Network. So these are quick turnaround challenges. We have the Metrics app beta launch, which is reviewed by any reviewer. And most of our challenges went through there. But now we have the new MetricsDAO marketplace, which is reviewed by the Samurai Network. These are more experienced reviewers. We have Pine Analytics, which is a completely decentralized network led by Pine. They write the questions, they review them without the core team or Bounty Ops being involved. And finally, we have SkillForge, which is a marketplace for newbies. There's not cash prizes in SkillForge, but new analysts can use that network. So those are the 5 networks that we have in the app. Now, I think we can move on to the next slide, please. Thank you.
Here we go.
So, so the peer review stats that you see on the top are taken from Notion. So the eager beavers completed we're using our networks for reviews as much as possible. So you can see that they completed more peer reviews since last week. But keep in mind, this is only Notion data, which hasn't been merged with app data. So as we saw earlier, a new network was created which will leverage the Samurai for peer review, and we hope that this will help with budget control and also with quality of reviews. So in light of this, we've badged new reviewers last week. So these are people that recently obtained the 5,000 X metric, were badged as Samurai and can now review in the new MetricsDAO marketplace. Solar Core, our Solana experts, will also be used to review Solana bounties, but those are still launched through Notion. This week, we're going to keep collecting information on networks, and pretty soon we'll publish an overview of all our networks on Gitbook. That's all for peer review. I'm also doing Bounty Ops this week, so you'll have to be patient as I continue rambling here. So next slide, please.
Here you go.
Thank you. So we shipped 7 challenges on Notion. Any challenges that are not paid in USDC are still issued on Notion for now. And we also shipped 6 challenges again. But soon we'll be able to pay in native tokens through the app, which means that all challenges will be launched in the app. We're really looking forward to that. but we await the app update before we can pay in various tokens. So this week, our priority, we're going to ship 5 challenges in the app, and the Bounty Bunch will lead the launching of challenges. And we'll also use our Pine network to ship a challenge through Pine. Now, one concern that we have is overspending on reviews. So when we paid, when we started in the app, we made a promise to our reviewers to keep paying in the same manner that we did in the Notion context, which was an hourly rate. But in the app, a lot more people can review. We don't have a cap on the number of reviewers. We've been overspending quite a bit on reviews because we had more reviewers. So we're going to test using budget pools or review networks. For example, say 600 USD set aside for peer review, and the reviewer network would have to figure out how they're going to allocate that to their members who participated in reviews. So it's still TBD exactly what's going to look like, but we need to find a way to constrain the funding on reviews. One last update. We want our networks to be led by community members whenever possible. So we hope to have leaders for each network. These leaders can, for example, badge new members into the network. We don't feel that, MetricsDAO or the core team should determine who can join a network. So we're looking for leaders to step up and lead each network. So those are all the updates for Bounty Ops. Feel free to chime in with any questions.
Thank you, Zook, for all of your updates this week. I've got a couple actually myself. One is about working backwards. One is about the reviewer budget pools that are in development. Is there any, or will there be any good place for reviewers or reviewer networks and potential reviewer networks to learn what those pools will be and kind of know what they're maybe getting into before they compete to be selected, or they put themselves up to be selected as a reviewer network, etc. I know it's probably not yet kind of out there, but what will be kind of the place people can look eventually? What do you think?
Yeah, very good question. So it's too early to tell. For sure, the funding will depend on the budget. So some challenges have a low budget, for example, 1,000 USDC. So there might be less funds available for reviews in these smaller challenges. But I take your point that we should be transparent about funding for challenges before people commit to doing the work. So I think the ideal system is when we launch a challenge, we would also communicate the funding amount for reviews, and then people will know what they're getting into. But for now, all that is to be determined. But thanks for your feedback, and let's make sure we're transparent about how people will get paid before they do the work.
I can just butt in here. I ran a pool for the first Pine challenge of like $100. It seemed like we still got pretty decent reviews for that bounty, and I just tweeted it out with the bounty. So I think we could probably get the review pools like a lot lower than you think.
Okay, that's good to know. And yeah, maybe the review network could just tell their members we have 100 USDC for reviews, and just take care of announcing that to the reviewers. So that's a solution that doesn't require any major updates to the app.
Great. Yeah, I would also, like Zuki mentioned, love to hit the transparency angle with that for the broader participant community as a whole. And I have another question uh, before we move on, or before anyone else probably may have some. It has to do with the Skill Forge. Just curious if the token price on the Skill Forge marketplace have any significance? Is it going to have any significance, or is it a token to kind of as a placeholder to have something in place?
I don't see Aaron in here, so I will jump in. It has no significance, Marina. It's basically just like testing in public, trying out the systems, putting things through there that are low value so that we can get more interaction without risking funds.
Got it. So not like anything that someone participated once and got that token, now they're too senior to participate, or any kind of meaning like that. Okay.
Nothing like that at all. I would say like you can always layer on like social rewards or access using on-chain identifiers later, but I'm not aware of Aaron having any plan there. My understanding is it's just like testing stuff out.
Got it. Got it. Thank you for clarifying. I don't have any other questions. Does anyone else have questions for Zoom before we move on?
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to comment a couple things on the pool stuff. Like I think that experimenting with pools is really awesome. I'm really glad to hear, Jack, that you've been doing that and just like socially coordinating it. I think as far as like making it transparent to the reviewers themselves, that could be something that's included in the challenge description so that when they're on the page and committing to do review, that information is available to them there. I think also like communicating in Discord is important, but that way, if they don't go into Discord, they only use the app, they'll still see it there.
Yeah, seeing lots of 100% on that idea. Also love it. Anything else on analytics, reviews, challenge ops before we move forward? I see Patrick's sharing in the chat some metrics. That's really great. And I don't hear any questions so far on these topics. So thanks again, Zook, and thanks everyone for weighing in. And let's go on to protocol dev.
Yeah, we had a pretty good week last week. So we rewrote the protocol. So Labor Markets V2 has been written. The developers are writing the test for it this week. At the same time, application team is starting to build out the UIs for that. So the end badge flows are in flight, which I think we're all really excited for. This really unlocks kind of the modularity of the system that we've been designing. Cross-chain payment development also in flight at the app layer. And the user feedback on the designs of comments, reviewer comments, was shared with design. So we should get some pretty awesome iterations there. This week, the application team will be continuing to work on cross-chain payments and end badge. Protocol team on V2 tests for labor markets. Goal is to get Badger V2 also launched for public testing this week or early next. Fingers crossed we get it out this week. As V2 of labor markets is here, obviously a lot of information sharing between the protocol and the application teams. And design will be working on the iteration of those comments and also the challenge card. So hopefully some more exciting views for the challenge index coming in the future. And again, we've been rolling. We've got some good systems set up, so no concerns or blockers right now. And thank you to everyone on this call who might have participated in a user feedback session. That stuff was super helpful.
Thank you, Drake, so much for this update. Does anyone want to ask a question? And I don't hear any questions, so let's go to BizDev. And I think we don't have James with us today, so I'm going to let you all know. I'm going to try to do my best to not just read the slide, but a little bit constrained on this one. So past week, our awesome BizDev effort added data partners, big data protocol, crypto APIs, and token flow, and set up a MetricsDAO data partner Telegram chat where I will hang out and plan cool stuff with data partners for everyone. This week, we have 37 total data partners. Woohoo! And the Graph partnership is continuing. Some meetings are set up. Dean's list is being set up. I'm actually not quite sure what that is, but hopefully James will be around later in the week to clarify if anyone's curious. The playbook for data partners is being built out. Some networking in SF on Friday. And our goal of 100 official data partners is in sight, and partner meetings are continuing to get MetricsDAO to that. And I wish I could help with any questions, but we're gonna have to save those for James because I don't have specific context here. And with that, let's go to DAO Ops and start with Nan, and then pass it over to Bill if he's here. Nan, all yours.
Hey everyone. I've been saying this for a couple weeks now, but hopefully this is the last week with the contractor legal stuff. Sorry. So I'm gonna post that back on the forum tonight, and so I think we're at the point where legal can't give us any more advice. Really, it's pretty much on us to make a couple final decisions. So, yeah, everyone could take a look if they want to. We're starting to plan for season 5. Thinking about how governance might change. That includes things like bringing more people into decision making, like contributors that weren't technically part of the core group, but people like analysts and stuff like that. Meetup 18 was maybe going to happen this week, but I think the person leading it is out, and so that might get pushed next week. So yeah, that's all I got.
Thank you, Nan. And I think we don't have Bill's, correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm going to share Bill's updates for Treasury. April contributor compensation was paid. And this week, Treasury will focus on Season 4 bounty payments, starting them off. I know that Challenge Ops has prepared some payment sheets, and there was a delay on some of those because of some flags that needed a second look that community let us know about, let the team know about. Flags such as, I think, plagiarism or maybe an incorrect analysis or an empty analysis. So the community spoke up where some of those needed to be revised. So that was something that the team put their attention to, and now that's their day. And I think there's no concerns or blockers for Treasury either. Are there any questions before we go on for Nan? Nope. All right, let's do marketing. Alex, all yours.
All right, last week, working to get ahead on the education promo stuff, so we just have regular reminders there, and we can make improvements instead of having to make sure we're getting tweets and emails going. Updated the Async 101 page, copy header, added some tracking so we can start to see on Teachable how people are enrolling and stuff, so that we can kind of track efforts to get people enrolled and how that turns into actual analysts. Made a thread on the Web3 101 course to help get more people signed up for that. Again, the async one. And then coordinating with partners on Block Native, Grant Farm, Data Partner TG Group, Daily DGen, which go check it out. Rect Diomedes on Twitter produces that. It's pretty solid stuff. This week, I did not have enough time to go over the community promotion program stuff. So I need to look in there and see if we can fairly reliably track if we have community members enroll their friends in the course, if we can kind of like track that in a somewhat automated way to reward them for that. And then I hope I'm allowed to say this. We're doing a 301 course and going to announce that later this week. And looking at our paid ads, trying to get people signed up for that async course. It'll be a couple weeks that I ran one version of that. So just going to look at performance there and make some adjustments to continue improving. Questions, comments, snide remarks?
Friendly remarks accepted, I hope.
Friendly remarks are accepted. Snide remarks are also accepted. Any kind of remark.
Thanks, Alex, for your update. Actually, no remarks at all, I think, except yay, alpha. And there are also, before we move on, some questions and answers in the chat about the app shift from V1 to V2, which if you are interested and you're not reading the chat, be sure to check it out. Any more questions for Alex, or any questions for Alex? And I'm not hearing any. So let's go to education with Vaida.
So Alex has already given us some education alpha. So as you heard, we are starting registration for the free one course, and we're going to launch it actually in 2 weeks. That's when the course starts. So in addition to that, we are also going to start registrations for the other 2-1 and 101 programs. And as per usual, we have a bunch of workshops with the data partners going on this week. So this week we have 3 workshops. And then also we'll be kind of focusing on implementing the teaching assistant program and getting some teaching assistants for the 301 course. Also getting the near analytics module set up. And then continuing working on the Twitter professionals course that we have kind of did the retrospective of last week, and seeing how we can improve it further, and how can we launch it as an async, or what kind of improvements can be made there. And also a big thing is, since we have just come up with the educational workshops that we're going to be proposing for the partners. So this week we will also kind of be communicating with the partners and trying to arrange the workshops for the proposing the workshops and arranging the workshops with them. So that we have more engaging and more educational content with the partners coming up. So yeah, that's it from education.
Thank you, Vaida. A quick question on my end. The playgrounds and Centio and Artemis workshops this week, do they have specific analytics questions they'll be tackling, or is it more to introduce the community to the tools in general?
Yeah, so we will have some specific things that we will be tackling. With playgrounds, we actually will be looking specifically into curve finance. We actually will be analyzing Curve USD, which has just been launched, and so this is so this is something that it's going to be focused on, and we'll be actually posting the topics after this call in the education chat.
Cool, that sounds really interesting. Looking forward to all of them. And thank you, Vaida, for all of your updates. Are there any questions before we keep going? All right. As always, the slide, I should probably do a much better job on keeping it more concise. That's something for me for the community updates next week. But this week, let's look at the past week accomplishments and what we're working on the week ahead. So first of all, we hit 5K officially, finally. So drum roll. We've been, on one hand, we've been working towards this goal for a while. On the other hand, at the start of the year, we were below 4K. So really excited that we are here. Then, as you saw and heard, and will be seeing and hearing more, we are all about networks, and networks are MetricsDAO. So this is in the past week column, this is in the future week column, this is going to be in all of our columns going forward. Stay tuned. Last week, we also shared the latest edition of GJ and Sam's dashboard teardown, and they were kind enough to listen to my tips and invite me to share my opinion as well, which is appreciated. And Drake made an appearance talking about networks and the big picture and the implementation. So there's a recording of that available on our YouTube channel if you missed it. Was a short but very, very interesting presentation and kind of a roadmap and philosophical roadmap to where we're going. So if you're curious, it is on our YouTube. And it is also in the Networks 101 Discord channel, which in general, if you're curious about networks, that is the place to go. Also, last week, we shouted out our great analysts, Amir, who I think, did I say him on this call? No, never mind. Amir 007, 007. What was that? Amir 007, Ario, and our own Adria made some cool dashboards on meme coins and some hype around Bitcoin and ETH sell-off. There's a blog post talking all about those dashboards and showing all the charts. Check it out. We also shared our season 4 goals and a roadmap. We were working with Flipside friends, and we will continue on the MetricsDAO skill tree and how specifically analysts can develop their blockchain influencer muscle. And we also ran a quick unofficial community pod 1 month retro, and we have some learnings for the rest of the season. So that's the past week. This week, I want to shout out that Web3 Academy was kind to name us DAO of the month with strongest community. The tweet where they shared that is linked in our slides, and they did a little video, and it's really, really awesome to hear. If you want to go amplify, and hopefully our awesome marketing can help spread the word as well. Then again, networks. We're going to be working on showcasing our analysts again with the Metrics Minds weekly series, number 5 already. And a couple of new things we're trying this week is we're learning from the data from the last posts, and also we're going to be voting on Twitter which dashboards are going to get selected. So I think that's coming up tomorrow. So stay tuned for that, and we're going to share that for the team and community to vote and to pick the dashboards that are going to be written about on the blog this week. We're beginning some projects which are flawless onboarding with Gabe, incorporating our learnings from the retro, and collecting your sticker ideas. So if you have any ideas at all, if you have wild, cool, random ideas, there is a thread that's linked in the slides. We need them, as we might make some MetricsDAO stickers. And for concerns or blockers, always stay safe, beware of scammers, and also Sandesh, our legendary Sandesh, our moderator, is going on vacation tomorrow through May 19th, inclusive, which is not a concern, not a blocker, and we're really happy for him. Just if there's any delay in answering requests and questions, I'm going to be on it. So if there's any delay, please be patient. I'm going to get to it. And that's that for the community updates. Unless DJ, you have anything to add, or anybody has questions.
I'm good. I'm weeping in my coffee about life without Sandesh for 10 whole days and wondering how I'm going to survive. Probably copious amounts of adrenaline to distract myself from the gaping hole and the yawning void in my heart. But no updates. We're good.
You read my mind. We're gonna hopefully we're gonna make it through, but this is gonna be a tough one. We miss you already, Sandesh. All right, and I'm gonna give it a second for any questions to come in. I see there's some typing in the chat. Otherwise, thank you for sticking with us the extra 6 minutes. Thanks for joining. We're gonna see you during the week in Discord. We're gonna see you next week at this meeting, DAO and Community Weekly. Thanks all. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.